at the polling station, it scans this barcode. Now, if you are a billionaire, your vote will simply be scaled down using certain formulas that we should put in the computers. Those who need better elections should handle elections. This will simply scale down your vote to 0, depending on the person you're voting for. If you are a street guy, your barcode reaches 0, that you don't have any money, then you deserve a full vote. That is what we call equality. Equality means the sum of your political power and your economic power should be equal to the others.
Where was your ideology drawn up?
Yeah, actually I work with a friend called Steve Glickman. He said in a philosophy class, he tried to chart a graph of wealth against power, and he came out with this wealth that always goes up. That is, the more wealth you have, the more of a human being you are, and the more power you deserve. So he found that you have so many people up there with a lot of power and a lot of money, and you have so many down here at 0, 0, 0 power, 0 wealth. Then he said, but what could be the best graph for society? Then he came out with a curve that moves from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock on the face of the clock, and he saw that the more wealth you have, according to vote sizing, the more power, the less power you deserve, and the more power you have, the less wealth you deserve. Then he saw that everybody would be on that curve, having an equal distance to 0, 0. With this, nobody will pass by across another guy and say, oh no, he's got a lot of money, he's got a lot of power, he has everything, I don't have anything. You look at him equally, that he has power and I have what? Or he has what and I have power.
That's quite interesting. But let me ask Mr. Awah, do you think such a system or such a model can be applied to our system in Cameroon?
Again, a big no, with a lot of reservations, because the system will be manipulated by individuals. For the system to work, you have people behind the scene to make the system work. And so, what I'm saying here is that the system will not be able to work perfectly well because those manipulating it could as well play with the system. So what I'm saying here is, the system can be manipulated.
So I'll draw from you. How would vote sizing ensure transparency in an electoral process?
From what he's saying, I see a lot of frustration, and I understand him. People are so frustrated with society today. They don't believe anything can work anymore. It is because nothing seems to be moving. Listen, have you ever received money from a money transfer agency?
Just go ahead.
They use computers there, right? Now these computers are operated by human beings, and the guy who's invested in that money transfer agency has done his best interest to preserve his money from being stolen. Because that is computer at work. You cannot manipulate that computer. And I tell you, if you give election the power to vote, or you give government to those whom government was made for in the first place, that is the plural majority, I assure you they will preserve it to the best you will never believe.
Are you saying that the current electoral process, which is equally computerized, it uses machines? So we still talk of rigging.
Those who are behind those machines don't believe in vote sizing. They are the wealthy guys. They would manipulate for their own interest. I tell you, put a poor guy behind that machine. Make it constitutional that the more money you have, the less vote you deserve, or the less impact you have on decision making.
Then they will control those computers.
I think he's coming back to the point in a different way, but I think what we want to examine here is the fact that we have a system and we have people who are supposed to manipulate the system, people who are supposed to work with the system, and there is the possibility of trying to put things not the way it's supposed to work. I'm saying this because we have a system in place, and it is possible for somebody to manipulate the system. Now you're talking about the computer. It's possible for somebody to manipulate the computer. So the problem we are facing here is not really the system, but the people who are supposed to work with the system. So there has to be some change.
I'm very glad for your contribution, but let me come back to Mr. Awah just before we round up, because we are running out of time. How can you encourage people to vote, even with your vote sizing in a community or society like Cameroon, where a majority of people have lost confidence in the electoral process?
It is a bad sign. It is a bad sign when people don't vote. See, if you tell them that this is what is up, the more you earn, the less your vote counts, and the less you earn, the more your vote will count, will simply encourage them. This is a way of taking out money from politics. Money shouldn't influence on politics. Politics means decision making.
Thank you very much.
Please, can I give out my website?
No, don't. We'll
Okay.
come back to that.
Alright.
Spectators will have the time to ask Equinox Television about that. But one last thing before you go.
Well, the idea is very, very interesting, but I think it's a system and it can always be manipulated. And that's just it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on Talking Point tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, televiewers, that's going to be the end of our debate tonight. We are glad you were there watching. Stay tuned to more programs on Equinox Television. Bye for now.